Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing another Where Is video, and today's case is another really frustrating one without really any answers at all actually, and barely any evidence or any clues or anywhere to turn. There's barely any leads. Sometimes cases are easy to work on. There's almost too much information that it's overwhelming, and then there's cases like these where there's just barely anything and you're just scraping the internet for anything you can find. I've done my best to try to lay out all the information that's available in this video, but I still feel like there's a huge amount of information not being released by the police, and maybe they have a good reason for it. I hope they have a good investigation going on, but there's just so many questions, way more questions than answers. I found this case recently, actually this summer, when I was watching The View, just watching daytime television like a grandma that I am.
And let me correct myself, it's Akia Eggleston. Please welcome Akia's father, Shawn Wilkinson, and the co-founders of the Black and Missing Foundation.
This is her stepfather. His name is Shawn Wilkinson, and he has really been the lead person in the case as far as the liaison between the family and the media. He has really been the face of the investigation and really wants to find his stepdaughter. One thing that Shawn wants to make sure everyone knows and remembers is that this is not only a missing woman, this is actually a missing woman and her child. Akia was pregnant at the time that she went missing, and her son would now be born, who they refer to as Baby Eggleston, as he did not have a name yet, but he is also a missing person just as much as she is. Before I get started, I almost forgot, we have another Thorn campaign design. This is such a cute design. It has Thorn's slogan, which is defend happiness. It has the roses in there. It's really pretty. This might be one of my favorite ones yet. And this was made by a graphic designer named Kristen. I will link all of her stuff below. Go show her some love. I'm super thankful for all of our designers. That's why I'm now giving away chill packs, which are awesome. If you don't know what's in my chill pack, it's hemp balm CBD, it's monk products, it's a gift card to my merch site, and it's my coloring book all in one pack. So now anyone who designs a design will be getting one of those. There is a link to submit designs below. You guys always ask me, it's always there. Anyone can submit a design. Just make sure you follow the information listed on the form. But anyway, this is our design for this month, and all of the profit from this design are going to Thorn. Thorn is an incredible organization working to combat the human trafficking of children throughout the world on a digital side. It's a great organization that I feel so happy to make these donations to every time we do this. We're just about to $50,000 total raised, and I'm really excited about that. So definitely grab your shirt. These are limited edition and they will not be there forever. Okay, now let's jump back to the Akia Eggleston case. So Akia was born on September 6th of 1994, and she was 22 years old at the time that she went missing, which is just way too freaking young. She has a daughter who is now about 4 or 5 years old-ish. She was around 2 when Akia went missing. I'm sorry, my house is a zoo, what can I say? Guys, can we just chill out? Akia was living in the Cherry Hill area of Baltimore, and she was described as a very high energy person, did not like to sit around at all, was always doing something, was very active, dancing. In fact, this is a clip that she posted to YouTube of herself dancing.
Feel like my love life is finished. I've been avoiding commitment. At your fair share of admirers, they call your phone. You try to act like it's just me, but I am not alone. But if you're alone, then say my name, say my name.
She was also described as an incredible person who would take her shirt off her back for any stranger. She really put others in her family and her friends before herself, and she was constantly giving of herself. She was just one of those people. Her stepfather, Shawn, describes her as someone who everyone loved, that everyone was excited to see.
She went through a lot through the death of her mom.
Akia, the oldest of her siblings, was only 17.
She was very close to her mom.
And Akia's daughter was from a previous relationship. That information has not been, disclosed about who her father was, but Akia was a great mom to her daughter. She was super active in her life, always playing with her, dancing with her, goofing around with her. They had a lot of fun together. So at this time in her life, she has this 2-year-old daughter, and she also has just become pregnant with another man who she decided to keep a secret from the family. It's super weird, and no one knows why she did this, but she would not tell anyone the name of the baby's father. But she was super into being a mother, so she was more than thrilled about her second child, and this time she was gonna have a boy. So she was really excited. The family was calling him Baby Eggleston, but this was actually a really tough pregnancy for her. It was considered a high risk pregnancy, and the baby was actually breached.
She was 8 months pregnant, breached high-risk baby. She could barely walk. She was on bed rest. She wasn't working. Most of the things that were being done for her were being done by friends and family. So she was absolutely, in a sense, useless.
So when she went missing, it was summer. She was getting ready to have this baby and she was super, super excited. I'm sorry if you guys hear rain, by the way. A storm is a-brewing. And I feel like it's just gonna get worse throughout this video, but I really don't wanna refilm this a different day. So we're just gonna let it roll today, guys. So Akia's due date was in June, and it was getting close to that time. She was getting really, really excited. So Akia and her family ended up planning a baby shower for her, and she was really, really into the process of planning it. Her family was really excited, and it was going to be on May 7th of 2017. But what is super weird is that Akia never ended up showing up to her own baby shower. Like, they had the shower and everyone came but her. Of course, everyone in her family thought this was extremely strange and very unlike her. And what made it even weirder is that Akia had even put down $900 as a deposit for this baby shower. So she was definitely planning to come. Like, you don't just ditch your own baby shower. So this is when her grandmother tried calling her and she could not get a hold of her.
So I texted her and asked her, was her phone off? And she said, no. Why? I said, I have been texting you. She said, I can't talk to you right now. I'll call you back later. And that was it. I don't think that was her.
There was also a complete halt on all of her social media. She wasn't posting anything. So after the baby shower, her family decided to go to her apartment and see if she was there. Now, it seems like Akia was in the process of moving in with her baby daddy. We have several different things that points to that, but one of the things was that there was furniture missing from her apartment. Now, her being a high-risk pregnancy, almost to term, she probably was not lifting any furniture. But when her family got to her apartment, they noticed that that was what was missing.
And as far as what they found in her apartment, they did find some more belongings were missing, but as far as anyone's concerned, they had not reported what was missing. I guess they maybe wanted to hold that information in case it may be something that they can use for a case against someone.
Another reason we know that she was planning on moving in with her baby daddy is because her roommate actually had text messages with her where she was talking about how she was going to move in with her baby daddy. So that's how they know that she was in the process of doing that. Another thing, though, that her family did find at the apartment that was really weird was there was a hole in the wall, and they have no idea what this hole was from, and they were a bit concerned that it was there. I mean, obviously when you see a hole in a wall, you think maybe someone punched it out of anger, or there was a fight, maybe someone got thrown into a wall. Her family was very upset about this hole, actually. I mean, Akia was not a violent person. They never knew her to get angry and just punch a wall or anything like that, so they just thought, this makes no sense. So soon after this, her family actually realized that Akia didn't go to her 37th week doctor's appointment for her baby. This is right around the time that you're supposed to go every week. So it was very strange that she didn't show up, especially because she took her pregnancies really seriously and always went to her doctor's appointments. Everyone started to realize that Akia had actually been missing since May 3rd. And the shower was May 7th, so it had already been 4 days that she had already been possibly missing for. And this was really upsetting for the family because they had no for sure date of when she was last not missing and when did she officially go missing. So right away, her family felt like something was seriously wrong. They knew that this was completely out of character for her and that she wouldn't run away or leave because she's, you know, pregnant and it's a high-risk pregnancy, and she's not going to decide to move to another state or something, randomly make a change in her life as some people think that she may have done. I mean, it's possible that she just left, but it seems really unlikely. Akia was known for being extremely close to her family. She would not have just walked away from them all, taken her baby, their grandbaby away from them. Like, she wasn't like that. And at first, unfortunately, the police didn't really take it very seriously. They actually figured that she possibly was a runaway. But when the police came to the apartment themselves to do the initial canvass, they really found absolutely nothing. They talked to her roommate, her female roommate, who also had a child living there as well. Police ended up asking an apartment maintenance worker if he had seen her, and when they first got there, he said that he had just seen her an hour ago. So they were feeling pretty good about things at first. But no one really knows what he was talking about because there's pretty much no way he would have seen her. I mean, no one saw her for days up to that baby shower. And then the police asked for camera footage from the apartment complex, and of course, the camera that they would need to actually see her was not working. At first, the police were really focusing in on tips from random people who claimed they may have seen her out and about, but none of them ever panned out. They were actually all determined to be like false tips, so that never got them anywhere. They did 2 physical searches of 2 areas, which they weren't specific about, and both of those areas came back negative, so they did not find anything. So the FBI ended up deciding to enter her information into a database that would allow any hospital in the entire country to see that people were looking for her. And because she was so close to giving birth, they figured that she might be going to the hospital soon and that they might possibly find her this way. The chances of her having given birth in private were pretty slim. I mean, not by choice probably, because she knew this was a high-risk pregnancy and she was probably gonna need some serious medical attention. But her due date came and went, and there was no sign of Akia at any of these hospitals. So about a month later in July, the police ended up discovering her on security camera footage in a bank on May 3rd, which was the last day that she was seen. There are bank records of her transaction as well as surveillance footage of her in the bank, and police ended up talking to the bank tellers, and they said that she seemed totally fine and didn't seem like anything was wrong with her. And at this point, the police were starting to change their minds a little bit and starting to think that maybe there was foul play involved in this case. So the Baltimore police ended up doing a small news conference. Investigators were really trying to build some type of timeline to kind of make sense of what was going on in Akia's life before she went missing. A neighbor had claimed that they had seen Akia on the bus the day before she went missing, so they looked at all the security footage of the buses in the area, all the possible routes, all the ways she could have traveled, and they weren't able to find her on any of the cameras. In October, the family held a vigil for Akia in her apartment, and this was actually really crazy because that day they ended up finding her debit card. Someone at the vigil was randomly like, I found something over here, and Akia's dad goes over there and he sees that it's her bank card just sitting in the grass. That November, the police ended up creating a $25,000 reward for anyone who might have information. However, despite this, there have never been any new leads.
She went missing back in early May, and at that time we described this case as no indications of foul play. At this stage, I think we're prepared to pivot that foul play is something that we are absolutely exploring, because she was 8 months pregnant at the time. And we just want to make sure we put this information back out there for people to share on social media and see if we can try our best to locate some information as to what might have occurred with Akia Eggleston.
Something that's really horrible about this case is the major lack of news coverage. There's been local news coverage for sure, but there has barely been any national coverage. Their family says there literally weren't any national news outlets that were willing to even look at this case or cover it, which is incredibly sad. I'm really happy to hear that The View eventually picked them up and they gave them a nice long segment on their show.
And she was planning this baby shower. Would she have missed this baby shower?
Not a chance. She brought a dress. Her girlfriends were going to take her out to get her hair and stuff done. But after May 3rd and the last communications with her grandmother, there was no interactions with anybody.
Now, I'm sure a lot of you are on the same page with me that you're thinking, okay, it's probably the weird, mysterious baby daddy that she was keeping secret from the world. The police did end up finding out the name of the baby daddy, and here's the weird thing. It turns out that this guy was actually childhood friends with Akia's stepfather, Sean, and he had no idea.
He was a childhood friend of mine.
What's his name?
Andre Michael Robinson. It was kind of like, wow, I didn't even know he was dating my daughter.
Now, technically, he's not a person of interest in this case. He's not considered a suspect, but he has been interviewed. But the police will not give out any more information when it comes to that. And the weirdest thing about this guy is apparently he's pretty much completely ghosted the family. He did not participate in any of the searches for Akia and his own son, and he's really hard to get a hold of. They don't ever hear from him. He has no interest in participating in finding them.
Sean, the father of Akia's baby is not technically a person of interest, but has he been helpful to you?
Zero. He has not provided any information. He will not call me. He will not talk to me. I've reached out to him just to talk to him on a personal level, but he has not talked to me. And I've even been told by the police not to even interact with him.
Well, where is he? Do you know where he is?
We do not know where he's at. The police say they know, but I don't know.
One thing I feel like is really important to talk about with this case is the relationship between this family and the police. The family feels very unsupported. They feel like they have not taken the case seriously enough from the beginning. And they also have disagreements in the information. The police claim that the day that Akia was seen at the bank on May 3rd, she also got money out from several different stops, that she was driving around getting a bunch of cash out because she possibly may have been trying to buy this big house with her baby daddy and she needed a lot of money. That's what they say. Although that's really weird because who gets out a bunch of cash to buy a house? That doesn't make any sense from a bunch of different locations.
We had her at the Royal Farms where she takes money out of the money machine and then goes to the countering where she gets cashier's checks. We have her at a Wells Fargo in South Baltimore where she says she was waiting on a check to come in.
Who are these checks coming from?
Various places.
Her father says that this is not true. Her father says that she only went to one bank that day, the one that was shown, and that she got a normal amount of money out. It was nothing weird.
First things first, about the bank, I want to put out there that there's a story out there that she went to several banks. She did not go to several banks. That was a miscommunication upon the Baltimore Police Department. They have not yet renounced that statement, but that is the absolute truth about that.
Apparently that day she was riding around with a female friend who's been really involved in the investigation. The police say that she's helped them a ton, given them tons of information, but none of that has been shared with the public. The family still feels like the police have made a major lack of effort. For example, her stepfather, Sean, says that one time he was in the neighborhood of the police station passing out missing persons flyers for Akia, and he went across the street and gave some to the police there, and he claims that the whole station had never heard of her before. Another reason this is really upsetting is because Akia's father is a veteran. You would almost think that someone who's fought for our country would have a priority with the police. As of now, there is still no more information out there, although I do feel like there is more that the police have, and I really hope they're working on a solid investigation and that maybe something will come out of this and we'll see this case get solved. Akia really could be out there with her son. It's completely possible. I've talked about stories of people who want babies. Like, pregnant women are at risk of being taken by sometimes even other women. Like, who knows what could have happened? She could have been lured somewhere. There's plenty of weird Craigslist things like that. I mean, I'm just throwing out ideas, but I think that maybe it's possible that she is still out there. Of course, it's possible that someone did something to her, and you think maybe who wouldn't want her around? Maybe her baby daddy? As of right now, Akia's daughter is being taken care of by relatives. She constantly asks about her mom apparently, and the family's just heartbroken because they have nothing to tell her. Investigators have put billboards up around Baltimore to increase awareness about her disappearance. Akia Eggleston is 4 feet 11 inches tall. She weighs approximately 100 pounds. Here is Akia's missing persons flyer. Of course, if you have seen her or have any information, you should definitely contact the FBI's Baltimore field office at 410-265-8080 or the Baltimore City Police Department at 410-396-2499.
It really is a mystery. If there's a friend that she confided secrets in about what might have been going on in her life and you haven't shared those details, now's the time to do it.
The family says that not having Akia has been a major burden. It's just been heart-wrenching for them. And I can't imagine what your life would be like. Every day you're reminded that they're gone, and you have to think about it when you wake up, when you go to sleep. I mean, can you imagine what these families go through? It's so devastating. And what's so frustrating is that there's probably someone out there with answers, and that if they just came forward, maybe we could put an end to this and at least give the family closure. But that's it for me today, guys. Be sure to check out that new Thorn design that is limited edition. It'll only be available for about 3 weeks. And remember, all of the profit of that is donated directly to Thorn. That's it for me today, guys. Be sure to stay safe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Yes, there's so much.
Zenobia Williams and Ann Wilson have now only memories of their beloved Akia.
Words really can't describe the anguish that we're going through. My baby.
She's a little baby.
3 weeks old right here, and I remember that red dress that I helped pick out.
I'm still hurting. I still don't sleep at night. Really painful, and it's hurtful to have a loved one gone and knowing that she was pregnant and nobody knows nothing.
That was my baby also. So watching her grow up, doing her hair, acting with her, going places, we were very close.
Where'd you go?